Hello, Tuba Hero 37 here. Today I'd like to talk about why I'm wrapping up my Diablo 3 season so early and share some events going on in my life as well as some behind the scenes stuff on my YouTube channel that has kind of made me think it's a good time to wrap up the season already. So as I was saying last season, when I was pushing really hard, it was because I thought that would be the last season I could do that, because this season I would be moving and returning to the workforce. Now, obviously, I'm not fully packed up yet. I don't start my new job until the beginning of June, and I still have a lot that I want to do, or that I need to do this week before I can move. So I've got 3 days of class left this week, and then graduation that I'm not attending. I didn't attend my undergrad music education graduation, even though I feel like this one wouldn't last as long and be such a ceremony. So I actually would rather attend this one. I'm sticking with what I already chose to do and not attending. I still don't I haven't signed on to a lease at a place to move to. I'm going from southern South Dakota to southern Missouri, so it's about 2 states away. It's going to be quite the drive, so it's been a little hard to look for apartments and such, especially when a lot of people don't answer their phones. But the last property management company that I've been looking at has been a lot better at it. There was a chance I was going to be actually working somewhere else last week. And then, so I stopped looking for a week. And on Friday, I found out where I was going for sure. So I started looking again and contacted that better communicating company again. And sure enough, it seems like I'm on board to go somewhere, but unfortunately their last thing requesting more information from me was sent at like 2 p.m. while I was in class, and then when I sent them something, it was after hours on Friday. So even though it seems like we're pretty much finalized on Friday, my last word could not be confirmed during business. So I'm like kind of in limbo this weekend, hoping that I have a place finally, because I've been looking for a few weeks now, and we're getting close to June. Another funny thing that I have going on just this week is I've been in the pool for jury duty for this county for the whole 6 months, like from January through June, and only one time was my group of potential jurors possibly needed for a trial, and then that trial got canceled. But next week, now it's this week, there are two, one on... Well, don't need specifics, but there are two. I might have to do jury duty twice this week, so that's kind of weird and out of the blue. And I hope that once I move, they're perfectly fine with me not responding to any more, because I won't be living in this state. But anyway, yeah, so in my final week when I want to be packing up, when I want to be moving, maybe also playing some video games, but like I've got all that stuff I want to be doing, I'll probably also have to serve jury duty twice. So last time I moved, it was about 2/3 the distance of where I'm moving next. And I actually did most of my moving from a 3-bedroom house that I was living in by myself in a very tiny town to this apartment. I did most of the moving in my car, and then some of it I borrowed my parents' minivan. I ditched a whole bunch of my crap before I moved, so that made it possible, but I would never do that again. But at the same time, I've continued getting rid of stuff that I don't use. So I feel like if I had a van, I wouldn't need to rent a U-Haul or borrow a truck or do anything like that to move my stuff in an efficient manner down to my new place. So I'm kind of considering swapping my sedan out for a van and then just have that be my permanent vehicle. I actually like the idea of having a spacious vehicle. You know, if I'm moving like my tuba around, it doesn't take all of the cargo space, things like that. It just seems like if I was traveling long distance too, it'd be nice to have all that extra space. I kind of like the idea of getting a van, even though I don't have a family or anything that I would haul around in it. It just seems like it'd be convenient. But I've never actually purchased a car. The car that I'm using, I bought from my parents, so it's not exactly the same. But that might be something I try and do this week to make moving easier. But I also feel like signing that contract, I would want my new permanent residents for them to know where to bill and such. So we've got this crazy order of things that have to go on where I need to lock down the residence, and then I might get a van, and then that would make, I could probably do this in 2 trips back and forth. Not too bad. Not have to bother renting a U-Haul or a U-Haul that can tow my car and then like worry about pulling that into places. I just rather not have that stress in my life. So that is all stuff that's basically taking away from potential video game time that is specific to this time in my life right now. But really, even after I get moved, I'm going to be like starting a new job and maybe researching things that confused me while I was on the job. When I get home, like it's going to take a lot more time than just 8 hours a day or 9 hours a day, however long I spend typically to get acclimated. All right, so on to the YouTube stuff. So this is the first 2 years of my YouTube gaming channel, or at least the first 2 years that I can go back to. I'm guessing this is around when I started, 2017. So this is a 2-year timeline. And in that time, 25 subscribers gained. So from 0 to 25 in 2 years. And it's not like I wasn't posting any videos back then. This is like over 50 videos. Every time there's a number on one of these, that's how many videos were posted in that time period. So I was definitely posting videos across 2 years. Any of these spikes, though, that's not like, oh, that video went viral naturally. That was, I don't know if the YouTube algorithm didn't work as actively then as it does now, but almost all of those, if not all those, were I posted something to the Diablo subreddit and it did well or didn't do so well. Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. It's like against Reddit, but back then I was doing a lot of that. I did it with my Tuba YouTube videos. When I posted those, I usually found a subreddit that fit it and shared it. People usually liked it if you didn't spam it much because it was something different. But yeah, I stopped doing that eventually because it just feels a little spammy if you do it with like every Diablo video. But anyway, this is basically like, I'm aware that if you're a new YouTuber, the numbers I'm about to be complaining about are actually really good, because in this time with all that video posting, I got like less than a subscriber every other video. It's funny, like I was looking here, this was a long ways into it after I already probably would have had most of these subscribers. And it's like I posted 3 videos here and I'm lucky if in a day I get double-digit views. Like it's basically a dead YouTube channel at that point. And that's just like the slow growth of YouTube. That's just kind of how it works for a lot of things. You either aggressively market it, share it, spam it, which is rude, but kind of necessary, or it just stays like this. Or, somebody else shares it. That's the unrude way, is like if you actually have good content and also people, they can share it, and then it's not you feeling like a jerk. It's, you having friends. So then if you look at the last 2 years of views, subscriber growth, etc., much different story. Well, the beginning wasn't really. From May through September, it's like 0 to probably all single-digit views on a given day. But then starting right around March, which, pandemic times, maybe that's related to it. I was streaming a lot more. I was YouTubing a lot more. I was playing the game in general a lot more, trying to go really hard. That was the first season I ever hit 3,000 Paragon solo self-found. It's no Leviathan's getting 4,000, but it was pretty good. And I think I got about 2,000 on the softcore account that same season. But yeah, tons of Diablo, tons of posting, tons of growth in the YouTube channel. It was really exciting. It was like, as long as I was consistently posting, I don't know why the videos aren't showing up down here, but as long as I was consistently posting, it was always growing the YouTube channel. Then as I came back to school, or I don't know what was going on that summer, but things didn't look so well. Then this season, again, I went super hard. I think it started November 20th, maybe. It started in November and lasted forever, but season 22, I was trying to do the absolute best I could in a season ever because I knew I'd be joining the workforce. So I was trying to grind as hard as I could, stream fairly often, but really I wanted to keep growing my YouTube channel. I wanted to like hit 1,000 subscribers as soon as I could to get that YouTube partner program again. I actually had it on my original, like my Tuba videos YouTube channel, and then they're like, I don't remember what the requirements were when I had it, but when they upped it to you need 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours of watch time in a year, then they just took it away rather than grandfathering in the people who already had it. So it's funny. I think this channel even, let's actually just check this. Well, I'm not finding it at the moment. Maybe it's only on the mobile app, but I'd swear there was some point where I could see the monetization as well, like ad revenue. And it actually showed some back here because even this channel, my second channel, I started it before they took that away. So like if something had a bunch of views because I shared it on Reddit and then Riker mentioned it in one of his videos, then I got 20 cents or something. So yeah, it looked like things were growing. The more I posted, the more it grew. And then when I went and visited the place I'm going to be moving a few weeks ago, I realized I might not have good internet there, but I decided like, oh shoot, hardcore might not be such a good option anymore. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with playing softcore instead of hardcore. I think it's the same game. It's just leaderboards. You can actually kind of dominate at low Paragon. Early season on hardcore a lot easier, but like now that there's the sideboards, the different class sets that you can push instead, at least at the points that I was getting the rank 1s in the last few weeks, a lot of those clears were rank 1 for hardcore and softcore because nobody was pushing them on softcore either. So really you could try and just pick some niche and be dominant in that instead of, thinking, oh, I've got to grind 6K Paragon if I want to be rank 1 on softcore ever. No, you don't have to be on that path. You can go for early season with low Paragon. You can go for sideboards and, if you've never been near rank 1 before, you're probably not going to just pick a sideboard and instantly be there. But you could get a lot closer, like way better than you could on a general board in the past. At least that's the way they were looking when I've been looking at them recently this season. So here's an example of a video that I would expect to do well and did do well. So I'm kind of known for Juliana's Monk. I pushed it as my main push build several seasons where Wave of Light or something else was the best build. I just wanted to do Juliana's. So last season, there was a point early season where I got rank 1 with Juliana's. And then in the middle of the season, I got a GR 130 down. I'm not sure what my Paragon or anything was, but I got 130 down, which is a nice big giant round number. Posted it to YouTube. You could see in like one day, 329 views. One day. It wasn't even a rank 1 clear at the time. It was just a really high, crazy Juliana's clear. One day, 329 views. If we look at my rank 1 Juliana's clears, that was a GR 123, pretty early season because it was like 10, 11, 12 days ago. About 11 days ago, it looks like. April 28th. So it was early season. GR 123, it would have been rank 1 on all 3 regions hardcore, as well as softcore on Europe and Americas for Juliana's. So like crazy good Juliana's clear. And to this day, 85 views. And if we go back, you have to go back several days to get to like 5 views. This is like a week for 5 views. If we look at this old video, it's gotten 4 views in the last 48 hours. YouTube, why are you pushing this outdated, like you can't even play that build anymore. It had clones popping out. It had a 4th cube slot, but more people are watching this video from that season. If we go back, let's see. Let's just go back to like April 30th, 2757. It's gotten 50 views since then. It's probably gotten more views this season than any of my videos from this season, which like good for this video, good for Juliana's doing well, but I just don't understand. I don't think YouTube knows how to push content and it's the same thing with some of my PTR videos. They do really well because lots of people are interested in the PTR, But then after it's ended, those will still be doing better than anything that I put out starting the next season sometimes. I've got like my barb, what I would do with the 4th cube slot video. I'll see if I can bring that up. All right, here they are. 2 of my highest viewed videos ever were what I thought I would do with the 4th cube on the monk and what I thought I'd do on the barbarian. Because I'm familiar with almost any build you'd ever want to push for both of those classes, so I made these longer videos about it, talking through my ideas. I never even looked back to see if I actually went through with the same ideas I had predicted I would go through with, because sometimes you don't think of something until, you've been playing for a while. But they did well, and I would understand that in the moment, but I bet if I look at these analytics, well, actually the monk video hasn't gotten very many views recently, but if we look at the barb video analytics, because this just always throws me off, this is still going up so much. This is outdated. This is a useless video at this moment. I'm considering deleting it, but look at this. 22 views in the last 48 hours. 22 people are first seeing my content because YouTube showed them, hey, here's my bonus cube thoughts. That's what the whole thumbnail is, for a video about how I would use the 4th cube slot for a season that's over. Why, YouTube? Why? Last 28 days, 191 views on this video that is useless. Essentially useless. Like, maybe there was some good information in there, but it doesn't make sense. And I think that's also why it's like my most disliked video ever. It's got 1 dislike for every 3 likes on it. And I think it's because people are like, YouTube, why did you want me to watch this? It's like when you get the most random suggestion ever, and you dislike the video because you don't want to be shown that again. I think that's what's going on there. But this is basically just what is getting me so down about YouTube at the moment. Like, that was one of the things I really enjoyed, was seeing the YouTube channel grow while I push and such. But yeah, I don't know if Diablo 3 is just in a dead space, but I can't imagine that's the case. If it's because like the pandemic had something to do with the big growth, and I've heard other YouTube and creators in other spaces saying that they're getting a lot fewer views than they had in the recent years. But why are my old videos that don't mean a thing now getting more views than my new ones? And look at these likes. The likes have stayed consistent. Still, a lot of people still really like it. Like, big thanks to all the real fans and all that. Subscriber watch time and views compared to not subscribed has massively gone up because, everybody who actually already knew me and likes my content is still watching it. It just, for a long time, it was being pushed to so many more, like 10 times as many people who didn't know me as people who did know me. And it's just been weird because after I drove down to visit where I was going to be moving, on my way back, decided I wanted to really push these last few weeks before I moved on hardcore. So I think that was around the 25th or so. I started grinding, like playing 8-10 hours a day again, farming up augs, farming up keys. And then I'd pushed every day or every other day since then for a long time. So 27th, 28th, 29th, skip the 30th, posted a video on the 1st, skip the 2nd, 3rd, skip the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Like all those days, just a few days skipped. And look at the views. They were the lowest I'd seen in ages. And I didn't know what to do because, like, sometimes you think you don't want to post a video before your last one's been seen by too many people, but I don't think waiting would help. I don't think if I just hadn't posted this video, then this one would suddenly get 100 views instead. I think it's just YouTube doesn't want people watching my new stuff anymore for whatever reason. I don't know. But that was a kind of big motivator for me, was to, like, I thought I would keep playing Diablo when I could, because it doesn't take that much time. If I just record my pushes or record whatever I think might be interesting to see at a high level, it doesn't take that much time to put it into a YouTube video once I've done it a few hundred times at this point. But it's like, what's the point? Like, thanks for everybody who's watching and all, but this is if YouTube doesn't want my channel to do better, if it never wants me to get to 500 subscribers, if we look at the analytics, 2 subscribers in the last 28 days. There was a while that I was getting like 2 a day. It hurts. A few days ago, like I had been steady at 450. Where would I see this? I'd been 450, 450, 450. And then this day, I saw it go up to 451. And then later that day, dropped to 449. And that was like, I guess I'm done. I guess I'm never going to have 1,000 subscribers. So yeah, I'm not really feeling motivated to go like farm up all these other builds on Diablo to, push rank 1. Because on the off classes or the offsets, it's easy for me at this point. And on the other ones, it's too much effort. There's no like super nice middle ground. And part of the motivating factor was the YouTube channel, trying to grow that. But since that's obviously not doing anything, I'm either going to take a break from Diablo, posting Diablo stuff for a long time. At least clears. I might still post some more informational stuff in the coming weeks if I'm get moved and stuff and feeling motivated for that. But actually, like I just kind of decided to cut off my Diablo grind this season because of all these combinations of things. I didn't even mention the social aspects. So like a lot of the people who a few years ago I was playing with regularly don't really play anymore. And I don't really, I love playing by myself, but I like playing by myself now while I know other people are also playing the game and getting stuff out of it. I love seeing the comments like, I just got a new clear and stuff like that. But like the people that I knew more directly, that I knew their past, I knew what was going on, and they're just like not playing at all anymore. It makes it really feel a lot less meaningful to play. So I think I'm going to be trying out some new games or revisiting old games. Giving Last Epoch a try this weekend. Not even through the campaign yet, but if I decide that there's something there that I want to post about, like post videos of something, I'd do that. I tried recording a little bit just because I thought maybe there'd be good boss fights or something, and so far I'm at like chapter 6 and nothing has really seemed epic yet or anything. It's not quite like the act bosses on Wolfson were. I don't know, maybe the end game stuff, I'll find something there and be like, first time seeing this part of the end game when I get there. But right now it's a whole lot of me staring at a screen looking like at numbers because I love numbers. Obviously, like numbers have affected what I want to do on YouTube in a more negative way recently, seeing them go down so much. But generally, I do love stats, love numbers, which means when I see this whole page of skill runes that you can pick from all these different choices, I'm going to be staring at that for a long time. And I feel like that's not good stream content or YouTube content or anything. So I don't know. I'll be definitely playing it for a few days. Not sure if I'm going to post any of that. I saw Binding of Isaac just got new content, and I at some point had like all the achievements for that on Steam, but that was like 3 versions ago. So I've probably missed a bunch of stuff since then. I don't know. Maybe I might post crazy runs from that if I pick that back up on this YouTube channel. It's obviously the heart of this channel is Diablo. And I was a little bit worried that if I just like stopped playing for a while and started posting other videos, that I'd lose subscribers. But obviously that's already happening. So yeah. Of course, if you have any questions about any of my Diablo 3 builds or anything that I've done playing the game or anything that you've done playing the game that you think I might know about, feel free to say that stuff. I do still love talking about Diablo 3. It just isn't a thing I want to spend like all of my time playing anymore. It's been a good run though. You can see here I've played every single Diablo season, I think season 7 might be the last time that I ended a season early. It looks like I only played like 120, 130 hours total that season. But most of them, I play all the way from the beginning to the end, just give or take on a given day or week, or month. Sometimes you need a little more time. But let's look at total hours. So almost 2222 on the Barb, 2520 on the DH, 134 on the Necro, 1065 on the Wizard, 303 on the Witch Doc, 3,242 on the Monk, and 833 on the Crusader. Almost 6K Hardcore Paragon. I wonder if that'll flip over. I've got about 2K right now. That's probably not enough because the first 1,000 is basically meaningless compared to 6,000. But at this point, who cares about the numbers? Like 5,700, 6,000, they're just these giant, massive numbers that make the game trivial. And then softcore, I've actually played a lot less recently, so I've only got 3,500 softcore Paragon. Almost to 25,000 bounties completed. That's kind of cool. Oh, I probably should finish the journey before I quit the season, because I do want that Lacuni Cub pet. But these are all my clears I've gotten. So this must mean overall, because they also split up by the sets and such. 126 overall Demon Hunter, 131 on Monk, 123 on Wizard. I did try it for 2 GRs, a 120 and a 123. I'm not a huge fan of the Firebirds. This is all with crap gear, but like I can see the power, but I don't want to play it 2 players, because at the beginning of the season I did play a little bit of groups. I had no intention of playing solo self-found this season, but most people I normally might have played with weren't really playing when I was playing, so I ended up being almost entirely solo anyway. Played some 4-man. That was on April 7th, was probably the last time. So I played for like the weekend, or a little after the weekend I got back, basically like 2 days after I got back, after season start, and then never again, apparently. Was sad. 115 on Shadow DH, a 75 in 3 minutes. Oh God, I must just have never picked that back up after I got rolling. April 5th, 126 Gears of Dreadlands, 105. This is my S2 or S4 G2 Echoing Fury Bolas build. Got 105 with that. I was pretty proud of that. Obviously, LOD Rapid Fire is a billion times better, but I wanted to push something different. We got a rank 1 Raiment clear. I don't know if it still is or not, but it was by quite a bit. It would have been on softcore as well. I think their highest was 112 at the time. Yuliana's 123. Ina's Tempest Rush 121. POJ 131. No 6-piece. The LOD Tempest Rush. So many Tempest Rushes. 120. And Firebird's Finery 123. Couple achievements. Oh, so this is a stupid thing. The Conquest leaderboard was broken when I did the T10 in under 2 minutes, so I got the achievement but not the Conquest. And it looks like they never gave me the Conquest. So yeah, that's kind of busted, because I'm sure I did it after that I got the achievement. I've done it many times since then, because you don't have to do T10, you can do T16 in under 2 and it'll still count. Or T15 in my case. I've done a lot of monk farming on T15 with Wave of Light. So that'll do it for me. I do already have some plans for next season in mind. So, for instance, they added all these new leaderboards, and I love pushing multiple leaderboards normally when I play the whole season through. But I think what I'm going to be doing in the future with all these new leaderboards is focusing on fewer classes. I started this season planning on playing like 5 classes, and just on some of them only pushing 1 or 2 builds. And I ended up only playing like 2. I didn't even play Barb. I played 2 and then pushed Firebirds for like an hour. And that was it. That was all the classes I played this season. And I think if I start off the season with 2 max as the plan, then I would be comfortable like collecting the gear for all their sets and or LOD and have the stash space for that, because I wouldn't have to save all these things for other classes I might play or builds I might play. I would know from the beginning. So I've kind of played the crap out of DH, Barb, and Monk recently, so I think the next season I'm going to have probably, unless a bunch of stuff changes, a DH for T16 farming stuff, but then pick something I don't play much and push a lot of that as well. So if I have the Demon Hunter, I'm going to be good at farming. It would work the same with Monk, but I've played so much Monk, and I feel like DH does have a little bit of an edge for T16. But really, I'm probably going to focus most of my Greater Rift time on the other class, whether that be Necro or Witch Doctor or Crusader, something I haven't played so much, and then push all of their sets. So that's kind of what I have in mind. Like, take what you will of that. Maybe you want to do something similar. Now that we have all these boards, it makes it a lot easier to focus on a class. And if you just do that, it can make the stash management a lot easier compared to trying to farm up for a bunch of alts where they're all different classes like we used to do in the past when you didn't have the option to push multiple boards on the same class. But yeah, there's just too many Augs to get a real push in on every single possible board. So instead of focusing on like one build per class, it's going to be, for me, all the builds, but just for one or two classes. Okay, outro take a billion. Thank you so much if you've made it this far into the video. Like I said, I'm probably going to be posting some Diablo guides or something if something comes to mind that I really want to post about. I'm going to cut off my D3 grind. So if theoretically it would take me like 4 hours or 5 or 6 to make a decent guide for some subject, that's like 1 day of grinding on Diablo. So if I just converted that time that I would have spent grinding into making a guide, I could make something like that. Now, depending on the subject, it could take a lot less or a lot more time than that. But anyway, that might be a thing I lean towards with any Diablo postings I do in the future. So good luck, everybody, for the rest of your season. I'm going to get back to packing.